is the Marlabs webinar, Data Scientists in a Box. So I have a few people coming in, and we'll get started as soon as we move to the first slide. So thank you, everybody, for joining our webinar. Real pleased to be talking today about our Data Scientist in a Box. This is Peter Grahams. I'm the Chief Digital Officer here at Marlabs, and I'm going to give just a brief, I promise, brief introduction to Marlabs for those of you who don't know who we are. And then I'm going to turn it over to Dilip Srinivasan, who is our Chief Digital Strategist, and he'll take you through the background on our Data Scientist in a Box. And then Senthil, who heads up our AI and data science practice offshore, will give a short demo so you can see just what this is all about. So briefly, Marlabs has been around for over 21 years. We're headquartered in Piscataway, New Jersey. About 2,300 plus associates around the globe, supporting a large number of Fortune 1000 clients, mostly in the US, supporting industries around healthcare, banking, financial services, insurance, life science, retail, travel and hospitality, and manufacturing, among others. We provide a variety of software and consulting services, including back office support, supporting enterprise apps such as SAP and Salesforce, provide infrastructure and security services, DevOps, and of course, excuse me, digital. And in digital, we have offerings around IoT, big data, and data science, and finally AI, which is what we're going to talk about today. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Dilip. Dilip, to you.
Thank you, Peter. So hello to all of you on the call today. I see many of you spanning time zones, so thank you for joining us. I'm sure you will find the next 45 minutes interesting as we delve into a much sought after topic. On the next slide, you will see that the industries today are at a new inflection point with the emergence of technologies spanning social, mobile, analytics, big data, cloud, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, IoT, etc. These technologies being brought into the industry is now broadly being defined as Industry 4.0. It basically evolves the transformational journeys to digital. And what this journey brings to the table really is increased operational efficiencies, new revenue streams for organizations, superior customer experience, and new innovations that basically cut the go-to-market time of products or services. But core to accomplishing any of these is really data. And analyzing data brings its own challenges, as you can see on the next slide. Now, when we talk about data, in every organization today, there is a huge challenge because there is abundance of types of data. Data could be from social, mobile, data can be from the enterprise, etc. So if you take, for instance, today, the digital universe contains over 16 zettabytes of data and is ever increasing as more machines, sensors, devices, and people are getting connected to each other. Further, studies have shown that today enterprises analyze only about 0.5% of their data. And even to analyze this small percentage of data, they use scarce data scientists who in turn spend over 55% of their time on data analysis and pattern discovery. And all these data scientists don't come cheap. So as today, depending upon the capabilities that organizations look for, data scientists earn annually anywhere between US $120,000 per year to $300,000 per year. To top it all, there is a severe shortage of data scientists, which just the US itself needing 60% more than the available supply. So why are we having so much difficulty finding these skills? If you look at the next slide, you'll see that depending on the work performed, enterprises need data scientists to have multidisciplinary skills. Today's data scientists need to know little or a lot on data engineering, statistics, machine learning, deep learning, deployment. They need to understand visualization and presentation, and they need to have industry domain knowledge. So building and maintaining high quality data science teams is beginning to become increasingly difficult due to this interdisciplinary skills that are required, the nascent education, as well as the training ecosystem. In fact, only today you're beginning to see specialized master's programs at top universities, beginning to bring in their curriculum and bring in these specializations. Now, this slide you see shows a typical life of a data scientist on a daily basis. If you really see what's happening, a data scientist today is spending roughly 60% of his time on data profiling and data preparation, and he's spending another 20% of his time on pattern discovery. So really speaking, he's spending roughly 80% of his time on areas, leaving just about 20% to do predictive modeling and help the business to ensure that they are in a position to do the right campaigns or whatever the use case is. So this is really what is happening in today's world, where the data scientists are actually spending lesser and lesser time trying to do what they should be doing and spending more and more time on work such as profiling, preparation, and discovery. So first, you need good scientists. You can't find them. And when you do, they're spending time on non-core business, a very difficult situation indeed. And this is really why it's important to understand that we have to have a better solution that can really bring this. And there's another point that I do want to bring about here is that today the biggest problems organizations face is ensuring business value realization from the already expensive and scarce data scientists and focusing them into this so-called modeling, prediction, and advising of business executives. In fact, data scientists today are really beginning to feel the pressure of business, relying on them very, very heavily, because they are expected to generate insights and they are expected to guide their business. And to meet all these expectations, they don't have the time. They're really spending time on profiling, preparation, and discovery. So what if we could solve this dilemma and realize tremendous gains such as what we can do on the slide that you're seeing in front? How excited would the business be if we could reduce the time spent by data scientists up to 60%? Or if we could actually reduce business users' time spent on data analysis by up to 40%. More interestingly, if we can speed the data analysis and pattern discovery process by 10 times, and even best would be if we can really bring about 100% error-free accuracy and future predictions by automation. I'm sure all of us will agree that this would be really wonderful. But the question really is this really possible? Well, friends, if you see the next slide, you will see that it is possible because we are really pleased today to announce what we call data scientists in a box. Data scientists in a box is an AI and cognitive computing platform that will make data scientists more excited with their jobs and bring ability to wow businesses. Moreover, for organizations who do not have data scientists, this will actually augment that requirement and provide them some very interesting business insights and predictive use cases. This product is built on a platform we call mAdvisor. On the next slide, we are going to take you to basically give you an overview of what the data scientist in a box is. Data scientist in a box basically is an automated machine reasoning platform. It really translates data from enterprise systems into meaningful insights and gives you predicted results in the form of narratives without any manual intervention. You will see the power of this box during the demo, where insights, predictions, and simple English-based narratives are fully and automatically generated by this machine. This machine has the ability to analyze very, very large amounts of data to identify and generate patterns very quickly. This machine uses basically automated prediction framework to allow for scale. It also analyzes all forms of data, both structured and unstructured, and most importantly, it allows for automatically through deep analysis, build what we call analyst briefs, saving huge amounts of time. It's really a very powerful solution. The question next is, where can this solution be applicable and what industries are these applicable? If you look at this next slide, you can see that the applicability across industries for the data scientist in a box is pretty widespread. The reason is because you can actually look at each of these use cases and put this into our box and get very interesting insights, and you will also be able to get predictions. While this looks like a crowded slide, it gives you a very good snapshot of all the potential types of use cases across different industries that can be made applicable with this solution. The possibilities to impact increased customer satisfaction, revenue growth, compliance, or reduce fraud and cost are simply endless. And let me show you some cases where business has really benefited. In the next slide, you will see that mAdvisor-based data scientists in a box has helped, for example, a leading investment firm to enhance their research process and give improved annual returns over $100 million. Amazing, in fact. Another airline in-flight catering organization wanted to basically predict what kind of food they should be stocking in their airplanes for each aircraft, for each route. And this solution not only predicted more accurately what food needs to be stored, because they had actually used this to benchmark with already existing results before they used it. They wanted to see if it really worked, and they found that it was far more accurate. And they came up with the point, an interesting. They found that they could also reduce wastage by about 15% due to this accurate prediction and food consumption. So this is really a very, very powerful tool that allows you to improve many aspects, including in a life science firm where they basically increased opportunity conversations by 12% using automated prediction. Another firm in the CPG has used this to enhance customer sentiment scores by 10% by using modeling capabilities of this product's natural language processing and influencer modeling process. So very, very powerful tool. And we have many stories that show many benefits. And I don't want to waste any more time. And I want to use this time to show you all a little more details about this product, as well as give you all a demo. So in this, I'm going to invite Sendil, who is our data scientist and our AI practice lead, to go over the features and demo the product with some use cases. Also, before that, one quick reminder, please, for all of you who have questions, please type in your question you may have so that we can attempt to address it. With more
and address. And I'm sorry. Thanks for reminding me, Dilip. Please go ahead and type in your questions as we go. Address them to me, Peter Grams, and I'll collect them. And assuming we have time at the end, we'll take up a couple of them. So to you, Senthil.
Thanks, Peter. Automated data scientist. Okay. Our key offering has 8 unique features, starting with automated pattern discovery. It helps enterprises to analyze large amounts of data and extract insights without any manual intervention. Using automated pattern discovery, data scientists can reduce time spent on exploratory analysis by more than 60%, and followed by our proprietary AI-based narratives engine, which automatically composes narratives based on the insights, okay, that is generated by statistical techniques and machine learning algorithms. Okay, it puts together, the insight in the form of narratives, which will help data scientists to cut down the time it spends on preparing analysis documentation. Most importantly, it reduces any scope for interpretation error. Our automated machine learning framework, enterprises can cut down deployment timelines for machine learning from months to a matter of weeks. It can automatically take care of scalability and performance issues, and data scientists, without worrying about deployment hassles, okay, they can focus on getting to deploy machine learning models without any difficulty. Then, apart from automated machine learning, we also offer specific predictive and cognitive apps to solve very specific business problems. Some of the apps what we offer out of the box include churn prediction, opportunity scoring, stock performance analysis, etc., which can be used across diverse industries. The platform is very scalable as it is built on Hadoop and Spark. Okay, so naturally it inherits the capabilities like scalability, performance, distributed computing, okay, of these powerful platforms. So you can store both structured as well as unstructured data within mAdvisor, and hence data scientists need not maintain separate data stores for multiple types of analysis. Real-time analysis is also a possibility. So hence we can accommodate use cases like IoT analytics, clickstream analytics, social media analytics. Okay, so since it can store, analyze, and process real-time data. Then understanding enterprises' requirement, we offer pre-built connectors, okay, so that customers can connect to key important data sources like SAP HANA, SQL Server, MySQL, Salesforce, etc. And so that, okay, when they can seamlessly integrate within the technical ecosystem. And coming to the next interesting feature is about that. Okay, we not only store data, but we can also help you to get the right data. Okay, say for example, mAdvisor can crawl through different portals, okay, so that where you can get competitive information, your articles and stock prices, so that you can do more complex analytics okay, on top of external data sources as well. Now, coming to the functional architecture, okay, mAdvisor is designed for both on-premise as well as cloud deployments, and it can be integrated with existing technology ecosystem through APIs, tools, methodologies, and other pre-built connectors which we expose out of the box. And enterprises can store both structured as well as unstructured data. And currently we use HDFS as the preferred mode of storage. And on top of the data storage layer is where you have the core platform services. And currently the cognitive computing capabilities include natural language processing, natural language generation, machine learning, deep learning, and the expert rule system. And when it comes to machine learning techniques, we accommodate most of the popular machine learning techniques ranging from classification, segmentation, all the way to association and recommendation. And we offer the end-to-end utilities required for machine learning deployment, starting from feature engineering, model training, testing, scoring, and managing it. Then using our platform services, enterprises can build quick apps. Okay, I mean, we also offer some of the apps by default, like automated pattern discovery, churn scoring, opportunity scoring, etc. And at present, we cater to key verticals like financial services, retail CPG, technology, media, healthcare, life sciences. So now coming to the demo, we have two interesting demos lined up for you. Okay, so during the course of the demos, we will be showcasing two key cognitive capabilities of the product. First is the automated pattern discovery. Okay, in this demo, we will be showcasing how enterprises can explore, analyze, and discover patterns from large amount of data without any manual intervention. And two, how enterprises can build and deploy machine learning models quickly using mAdvisor using the automated machine learning framework. This is the mAdvisor platform that we are talking about. Okay, and there are three modules within this platform. Okay, so first is the data, where users can go upload their data, which can be used for analysis. And then we have apps, where you have a lot of plethora of machine learning and cognitive apps which are built to solve specific business function challenges. And then we have signals. Okay, so signals, okay, in this application, okay, users can go, okay, and do a lot of pattern discovery analysis, and each of the analysis report is what we call as a signal. And we will start off our first demo, okay, by creating a signal. So for the first demo, we are having a data set which contains historical data of credit card customers. So we have around data for around 25,000 customers. It includes both their demographical data as well as their behavioral data. And the objective of this analysis is to find out, okay, what is the typical profile of a churn customer, okay, and how is he different from an active customer, and what are the causal factors for churn, and how is churn distributed across key dimensions. So now to start the analysis, all we have to do is to go and click on the variable of interest, what we need to analyze. In this case, it is customer status. And then the next step is to identify which are the variables we want to consider for the analysis. You can go and pick up whichever analysis variables you want based on our domain expertise, or you can completely leave it to mAdvisor to choose the relevant variables, what it considers as important based on statistical association. So as we click on this button, create signal, what happens as the backend is, okay, is multiple statistical and machine learning algorithms are at play. To start with, first, it automatically chooses the relevant variables which are important for the analysis. Then using our AI and proprietary framework, it identifies which are the statistical algorithms, okay, that are required to explore insights and identify patterns. And then it has computed the insights, and it goes one step further, composes the entire insights in the form of narratives and presents to us, okay, as we see here. So now that mAdvisor has analyzed the data, let us see, okay, what is the insights that it has come out with. To start with, it tells that, okay, that this data set contains customers, okay, where you have around 75% of your customers are active, where 25% of the customers have churned. Now we'll find out, okay, why these 25% of customers have churned and from where. So to start this analysis, it gives you a direction, okay, telling that there are 3 factors which have significant influence on customers' churn behavior. That is the state from where the customer is from, the average spend of the customer, and third, the credit rating of the customer. And there are also other factors at play, like the behavioral patterns, okay, and the payment behavior of the customers. Now, mAdvisor, as a next step, what it does is it lines up deep dive analysis into each of these dimensions based on this statistical association. So since state has come out as one of the key influences when it comes to churn behavior, okay, let us have a deep look at it. So 1, it has come out with an automated visualization, and 2, it has also come out with the narratives, which is not generated by human beings, but it is automatically generated by the machine using natural language generation. So here to highlight, okay, so let's look at when it comes to what it has to talk about churn. Here it tells that Ohio and is the state which has the highest rate of churn, and when it comes to, on the other hand, Florida and New York, okay, together, okay, they contribute to the least amount of churn. And at the same time, it also highlights that Virginia, which accounts for just 26% of the total customer base, but on the other hand, it contributes to more than, close to 34% of the total churn. Okay, so hence it has highlighted that Virginia is a key hotspot when it comes to churn behavior, and it does not stop there. It actually goes one step further and helps us with the causal factors as to why is churn significant in Virginia. So now we can see that in Virginia, churn is high, both in terms of percentage as well as in absolute numbers. And it has, mAdvisor says that there are 3 factors at play, starting with the customer's bill amount for the previous 2 months, and third is their payment behavior for the month of November. So as a quick glance, we can see that customers for the month of, based on their bill amount for the month of November and December, they have less than $1,000 as their average spend. Okay, and then when we look at their payment behavior for the month of November, here we can come out to a conclusion that 96% of the churn from this segment are customers who have actually paid their dues within the due time. Okay, so basically we are not talking about defaulters here. We are actually talking about customers, okay, who have paid their due time, but and possible explanation could be they are having this as a secondary card, okay, and hence less loyalty, which is leading to churn. So similarly for each of the dimensions, okay, what it has identified that there is a statistical relationship. It comes with all possible explanations, deep dive causal factors, and everything, okay, along with a machine generated narrative. And next comes the most interesting part. Okay, so actually mAdvisor takes this data as training data, learns itself, and comes out with a set of prediction rules to define who is a churn customer and how is he different from an active customer. And it presents these insights in the form of 2 separate visualizations. One, like the decision tree, which is for the data scientists to interpret and analyze. And the second is in the form of decision rules, okay, which will be easier for the business to interpret. See, for example, okay, let's take one of the key interesting rule it points out is that, okay, if this customer is from Florida, Washington, and New York, and if suppose he is the customer who pays within the due time, okay, and if the average spend is between $10,000 to $20,000, then there is 100% probability that the status is going to be churn. So here, this rule actually talks about high quality churn. Okay, the customers are spending around really $10,000 to $20,000 a month, and they are paying their dues within the timeline, but yet they are identified as potential churners. Now, this information can now be passed on to the retention team so that they can target people who fit this particular profile and proactively retain them. The most interesting part is, okay, it actually stitches together this entire list of analysis and puts together in the form of an analysis report, okay, which now can be exported to business users in the form of a PDF file, okay, and now what we have seen is actually an exploratory analysis which might take at least 3 to 4 days of a time for a data analyst. We have accomplished within minutes using mAdvisor. Now, coming to the second part of the demo, earlier we had actually predicted, analyzed churn. Now here we go one step further and we proactively predict churn, customers who have a high potential to churn using our automated machine learning framework. So to create a model, okay, here we need two data sets. One is a training data set where we train mAdvisor to learn the patterns, and two is on a scoring data set where we do the prediction on. So if you now look at the data set, okay, so it contains again for 25,000 customers. So we have variables, okay, which has both behavioral attributes as well as demographic attributes, and here the variable which you want to predict is actually the customer status. Okay. So again, to predict, we'll have to just mention, okay, what is the variable we want to predict, and the most important aspect when it comes to any machine learning model is actually the variable selection. Okay, so it requires a blend of both domain expertise. Okay, say for example, if it's a credit card or if it is a telecom, you need some understanding of the domain, or if you also need a considerable amount of understanding about what variables will have a statistical impact based on the data scientist background. But here, both put together, you can leave it to the mAdvisor to take a call. Okay, so it can choose the relevant variables based on both the statistical significance as well as based on the use cases what we choose. And next, going there, okay, we have to define how much of the data we want to allocate for the machine learning model to learn, and two, the amount of data, okay, that it wants to test the accuracy. So now mAdvisor actually does the most complex part, which is the feature engineering. Okay, so where data scientists spend most of the time, okay, in transforming the variables to ensure that it is actually consumable by the algorithms. Okay, so that is what it is completely automated, and then it automatically chooses the algorithms, okay, to build the model on. It trains itself, identifies patterns, and then it goes ahead and checks the model for accuracy. And once when the model is built, okay, and accuracy is checked, it also comes up with a comprehensive summary report, which is easily interpretable for even business users or data analysts, okay, to choose which is the right algorithms, okay, and which is the result that they should be considering for. Now, mAdvisor has built over 200 models using 3 algorithms: random forest, XGBoost, and logistic regression, okay, which are all a mix of classical statistical techniques to complex machine learning algorithms. Okay, so now it also tells, okay, suggests users to choose the right results based on multiple parameters in terms of accuracy, in terms of precision, and in terms of the computation intensiveness. And also it tells, okay, what are the variables that have come out as key variables, okay, when it comes to this particular model. Here we see that, okay, most of the behavioral attributes like the credit balance maintained, their monthly payment behavior had a significant impact when it comes to predicting a customer status, whether they are active or churn. Now you also have detailed performance report for each of the models, but one key thing here I would like to call out is, okay, we have kind of produced the most complex machine learning model output, okay, in the most interpretable way, which can be interpreted by even business users, and they can pick the right machine learning models. Now, coming to the second part of this demo, okay, wherein now that we have built a model, okay, now we have chosen, okay, that the random forest model is performing well, and now we will apply this model to predict it on a fresh data set. So this data set, I mean, almost contains the same schema as the training data set, but it has one key difference. Okay, so here we don't have the status of the customers, which is what we'll have to predict here, and then we'll also come out with a probability score, okay, for the predicted status. To create the prediction report, you can specify on what parameters you need the prediction report to be on beforehand. Okay, and now you can apply score. So now what is happening at the back end is, okay, so it applies the prediction to each and every customer's record, okay, what we had shown there, and then it comes out with the predicted status, and then followed by the predicted probability score. Okay, and then apart from that, it aggregates the results and creates a summary score as specified earlier, and the report will be useful for a managerial level, okay, where they can strategically see which segments are at risk. Okay, the operational individual level reports can be used by the data analyst to design target campaigns. Yeah, now we have the predicted reports. We can see that, okay, around 17% of the customers are predicted to churn. Okay, and since we have also specified, okay, we want to see from where they are coming. Okay, you can see that, okay, that customers who maintain credit balance, okay, with a higher credit balance are predicted more to churn. Okay, so in this case, okay, you are going to actually lose out customers, high value customers. And then now you can actually click, by clicking the download button, you can actually see, okay, the predictor status and the probability at each individual customer level. So you can kind of expose this result in multiple ways, either to CSVs, or it can also be exposed using REST APIs, okay, where it can be directly kind of shared with your CRM system, billing system, or your campaign management system, so that you can run campaigns directly. Okay, so now what we have actually seen during the course of the demo is, okay, so basically any prediction model would take at least weeks, 3 to 4 weeks of time. Okay, but now using mAdvisor, we have actually reduced that particular time, okay, which used to take from weeks to a few days, and we have actually automated most of the time-intensive, complex activities like feature engineering, okay, data cleansing, and also even more intellectually challenging things like algorithm selection and model building. Okay, so now when we are going to see, okay, how the result is getting scored for each of the individuals. Okay, so I think we have around 25,000 customers whose status is getting predicted in real time. Okay, what we need to really appreciate at this point of time is, okay, this is all happening in real time, okay, and especially, okay, running multiple algorithms, okay, within minutes is something, okay, which is really complex, and we have designed it to make it very, very scalable. And now this is how the predicted results look like. You will have the predicted status, and most importantly, you also have the predicted probability for each of the customers. Based on the probability score, we can prioritize customers based on the risk, and then we can launch targeted campaigns. Over to you, Dilip.
Thanks, Senthil. This
Thank
is Peter.
you.
That was a great run through. We're going to take questions now. We've got some coming in. So let me go ahead and take a couple. The first one I have here, how do you cost your product / platform? So great question. So it can be done a number of ways. We have a license model that is based on basically size and complexity, so size of the data set and number of use cases. We can also price this on a service model, so price it on as used basis, and then finally on an outcome-based pricing, especially when you're looking at things like improving, reducing churn, reducing expense, improving sales, so we can do it on that basis. And an add-on to that, the next question, is this a product or a service? And the answer really is that it is both. So we sell this as a product, so the data scientist in a box can be provided on-prem or in the cloud, or we can run it as a service and provide it on a service basis. For the next one, I'm going to give to Dilip. Real basic one. What is the average deployment timeline?
Average deployment timeline. Well, actually, the process is pretty simple and fast. We normally have a kind of a workshop where we zero in on the use case. Once the use case is determined, then it's really about 2 to 3 weeks for developing a proof of value. And once we have the proof of value okayed, and we go into kind of a live stream mode in about 2 to 3 months. So frankly, the good thing is that this doesn't take too long. These are very quick return kind of projects, and based on the use cases, you can actually speed it up, or it will take a little longer. Peter?
And then actually, Dilip, an add-on to that one, how many internal people are required, so I guess from the client, are required to support the initiative?
Well, actually, as you saw in the demo, the machine by itself does everything, almost everything, including the reports and all that. So really speaking, what we require is just very little help from your organization, where we'll need about 2 or 3 people to basically at certain times to help us validate the data, understand the data sets that they want to use, and facilitate the engagement for deployment. We really require very, very little time from individuals, and that's possibly also one of the benefits, because once we decide on the data sets and fine-tune that, where we require the industry experts from your side, it's just we're just talking very few hours, really.
Okay. And here's one I was hoping someone would ask. It's a great question to give to Senthil. How do you compare mAdvisor against a Watson or an Einstein? And I think they're talking about the AI apps, not the people. So go ahead, Senthil.
Yeah, that's a nice question. Okay, so every platform has its own unique features, but I would like to call out one key feature, okay, where we have a clear edge over Watson or Einstein is our automated analysis and pattern discovery feature, okay, where this entire exploratory analysis and pattern discovery is conclusive, and we ensure that there is no noise when we present the insights. So say for example, if you take any other tools, if you have 150 variables, they end up creating 600 charts. 250 variables, you have around 1000 charts. As the data size increases, the user has to sift through more noise. But we ensure that whatever the size of the data, we pick and choose the most relevant insights and present to the business users. And most importantly, we simulate and present analysis in the form how a data analyst or a data scientist presents. So we present analysis with a human touch, but at a scale.
Okay, and then as a add-on to that, we have a question, Senthil, what are the cognitive capabilities of the product?
Okay, so the key underlying cognitive capabilities, which comes along with mAdvisor is machine reasoning. So where it can reason the data. So when it looks at data, it can reason, analyze, and kind of identify patterns, like a human being does. And 2 is machine learning capabilities, and 3 is natural language generation. So where it can compose insights in the form of narratives, using the natural language generation. And 4 is natural language processing. So when it identifies text or unstructured data, it can actually extract insights and identifies what are the key concepts it's talking about, and it can go one step ahead and correlate it with its machine learning capabilities and see how unstructured data is kind of correlated with structured data. So these are some of the interesting cognitive capabilities we have at present, but most importantly, in the next 2 quarters, we are also looking at to integrate full-fledged computer vision also.
Okay, great. And I'll put the next 2 together. What is, for Senthil, what is the data size it can handle, and what kind of data can it handle? Can it handle unstructured, graphic, etc.? Senthil?
Okay. Yeah. So since it's built on Hadoop and Spark, so it is linearly scalable, and it can handle any number of data. So we have tested on like terabytes of data, both on for prediction purposes as well as pattern discovery purposes. We could scale it up. The performance benchmarks has been really good. So that way I can say terabytes is what we are looking at. And when it comes to the variety of data what we can support, yes, structured data, and sensor logs, voice data for speech analytics, and unstructured data, when we crawl through portals, get articles, get stock prices. And the next step, as I was telling, we will also be ability to store images for analysis.
And I'm going to add on to that one of the great features of the platform is it was explicitly designed to handle a wide variety of data. So it can handle customer data, sales data, performance data, financial data, historical, all types of different data. And the key to it is that it needs a use case. So based on the specific use case that the client is looking at, then we look at that data and then run through the model. The next one, what is the typical mode of engagement? I'll go ahead and take that one. And I think Dalit touched on it earlier. So we first start with the discovery workshop, a discovery discussion, as I was saying earlier, to identify the specific use case that we're looking at. Is it to, as we look at here, reduce churn or improve sales performance and improve customer satisfaction, reduce some expense, improve food freshness, delivery cycles, what have you. Once that's defined, then we go into a proof of value. So take a smaller subset of the data in the use case and run it through to confirm that we are going to get valid results and we'll be able to have useful insights and predictions. And this, it's all dependent on complexity and size of the data. So it can go from a sort of a couple of weeks to 4 to 6 weeks. Then assuming that the proof of value is successful, we would roll out into a full project to deliver the platform for the use case. And again, depending on complexity, the availability of data and such, can be anywhere from a couple of weeks, a month, to 2 to 3 months. And the next question, so who are some of your key clients? Dilip, take that one.
Sure. Well, we have, it's a pretty recently launched product. We have some, and it's kind of interesting. We got quite a few clients with that. One is definitely, we're getting good traction in the financial services industry. So we've got a firm that's really helping, trying to see how they can use this as a data scientist within their organization for basically improving the research. So that's there. There's another, we're also doing a big project for a life science firm where we are all, integrating with their IoT initiatives. We are also integrating the AI part of it with this machine. And we we're talking to doing a number of POCs in other industries. So I think it's been very good. One of the major successes we found, which I think I already highlighted, was in an in-flight catering firm where they actually benchmarked us with their existing data. They said, we predicted that for this particular flight and this particular route at this particular time, we, with our 2-year data, we predicted that we wanted to have so many chicken sandwiches, so many vegetable sandwiches, so many chips, so many this, and let us see what you can do. And when we ran our model, we found that it was far better than what they had actually forecasted. And, it basically helped them to stock better, improve customer satisfaction because they don't have to say, no, we don't have it anymore. And more importantly, we actually reduced the wastage. So yes, we started, we got some very good traction given the fact that the product is pretty recent. So pretty good cross-industry success, I would say. Peter, I think we are all
great.
time.
Yep, I think one more simple question we have, and then we'll close for Senthil. What if you don't have Hadoop and Spark in your environment?
Yeah. So so that is one of the most common questions we come across. So for customers who have an on-premise deployment of Hadoop, we integrate it. We use the same instance. For customers who don't have, okay, so we completely create an instance on the cloud, okay, with the product completely deployed, okay, and then we ensure that the deployment is ready to be used. Alternatively, for customers who are averse to cloud deployments, okay, so we also can help them, okay, in deploying an on-premise version of Hadoop and Spark to get them started.
Okay, thanks, Senthil. Thanks, Dilip, and thanks everyone for dialing in. This was Marlabs Data Scientist in a Box webinar, and please feel free to follow up with any of us if you have additional questions or interests. And this will conclude the webinar. Thanks, everyone. Bye.